Well, hey guys, we're back.
Your heart, keep it in your pocket for safekeeping. Don't ever let nobody be the reason.
Welcome to Dope After 40, the podcast.
Don't let your hair get in the way. Can't be defined by your mistakes. You know you're trying, you're trying.
How are you guys doing out there? Thank you for tuning in. It is your host, Nisi Marie of the Dope After 40 podcast. I know I told you guys in my last podcast that if I was going to do this by myself without a guest host, that I was going to do audio only. Fortunately, things have changed. This has been an amazing week. Um, and I thought it only right that I come on, show a little bit of myself. How y'all doing? How you doing? Introduce myself formally and just see what's going on out there. So, I recently put up a post by a digital creator on Instagram. She goes by the name of Kelly Manno. And in the post, it was it was probably one of the funniest, most hilarious posts I had ever seen. So I had remixed it with her. It was kind of like a side by side of her discussing and defending Generation X, my generation, by overstating a few generational differences between us and those younger guys that shall remain nameless. You know who we're talking about. But in any case, the post happened to go viral. I mean, I think there are about 2.7 million views, over 180,000 likes, thousands and thousands of comments. And thanks to that post, I generated so many new followers, and I am so excited and just wanted to say thank you to everyone that saw my page, shared my page, followed my page, that saw my content and thought, hey, this is something I think I want to kind of get down with. So I appreciate the love. I just wanted to come on here and thank everybody for showing me love and letting you know that, yeah, we're dope after 40, y'all. It is what it is. But I also wanted to bring some light to the things that I started to see on my page regarding the post that I had put up. So pretty much my page is for those Xennials and Generation X. I would classify it as those over the age of maybe 36, 37, well over the age of 40, right? So when I put the post up, as mentioned, it went viral. Unbeknownst to me, I was just sharing something I thought was funny, adding a little bit of commentary to it, and lo and behold, it did what it did. Shout out to God for guiding my hand and my thoughts and my creativity to even allow me to create something so, overwhelmingly touching to so many people. But it was all in good humor, it's all in good nature. And I gotta say, if you haven't seen the post, please go and check it out. Like I said, it's with a digital creator by the name of Kelly Manno. She is absolutely hilarious. You should probably also follow her. I love her content. I think she's not I think, but I know she's another Generation Xer. And it's just so relatable, all of her content with regard to, growing up in the 80s, 90s, and, those that even grew up in the 70s. A lot of times we can relate to the boomers. We all had struggles. We all had a lot that we went through. But being of age now, we can find humor in it with regard to how we grew up and comparable to the millennials and all those now. Again, if you saw the post, the comment section, for lack of a better word, was lit. Okay? It was the funniest shit I have ever seen, the funniest shit I had ever read by so many. I mean, it was generational. Everyone was able to relate. It was literally for most a walk down memory lane. I mean, so many were happily telling their fondest memories from childhood, before the internet, before the social medias, before participation trophies, before all the BS that we now have to deal with in present day, you know. It was just absolutely just so funny. So many millennials would jump on and they were giving us grief, like, you guys are sounding old, I guess, because we were just so, reminiscent of a time when they just couldn't understand it, you know. But at the same time, as I am rolling through the comments and I'm taking my own walk down memory lane, I'm noticing that there are a lot of disgruntled. I'm filming.
They only had zero.
Zero what?
Good enough.
Ginger ale zero?
This
I don't want that.
not hard. You never had it before?
You should have told them never mind. No sugar. That's the point of it.
Taste it. Tastes exactly the same.
Oh my god, there's an aftertaste. Disgusting. Ugh. Asshole. Sorry. That's my 19-year-old son. God, he gets under my skin sometimes. I'm so sorry. In any case, I don't know. Can any of y'all relate? I'm telling you. Woo, that one right there. But, okay, getting back to it. There were a lot of posts from a lot of disgruntled, I would say, millennials. I mean, I don't really know their age. I can only tell by the things that they were commenting and how they were commenting with regard to, being annoyed by the camaraderie of all the Gen Xers in the comments. And they started to air their grievances and frustrations regarding like their failed upbringing by a Gen Xer or the parental neglect they received by a Gen Xer, um, you know, aka their parents. And I'm glad my post could be a sounding board of sorts, for so many. I understand that we all have grievances and frustrations regarding our childhood, our upbringing, a lot of traumas that, we may have succumbed to, we may have, had to fight our way out of. It's pretty much the reason why I kind of started this podcast so that we can kind of, get to a place of healing from everything that we've been through, let go of old beliefs, things that were taught to us, by a generation that may not have also or always had the answers as well. A lot of times we held on to a lot of anger regarding that. I know I did per se. But just seeing that just kind of sparked something in me. I kind of had a revelation like, I get that you're mad, homie. I get that you're mad, bro. But it's time to heal. And living and walking around and trying to maneuver life with that much anger and that much pain, it it was just it was really really sad to see. I mean, you cannot take out your frustrations on an entire generation because you had a shitty upbringing. I mean, the majority of us have. I wish that my childhood was better. I wish that my parents had did, a little, right by me. I mean, for a long time, I was an angry teenager and I was an angry young adult. I was an angry adult, up well into my 30s, almost into my 40s. You know what I mean? But there comes a time where you just got to say, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to live my life like this anymore. I don't want to be angry anymore. And it's up to you to make the decision to let go and let God forgive and let love in, because you cannot be angry at the world. It doesn't do anything for you or your family, your loved ones that have come after the fact. But yeah, there was this one comment I had responded to early on when the post had first dropped, and a guy, he was very upset with the Gen X crowd and had responded back, but in love. Like I'm not going back and forth with anybody on a post. We too old for that. Even though a lot of y'all was digging in their asses, Gen Xers, I gotta say, I responded with love, and I was just letting them know, like, listen, I get you had a shitty childhood, pretty much majority of us had. I mean, he was just like Gen Xers, all they care about is themselves. You know, I had a Gen X parent who all she wanted to do was party and run the streets. And you can, in the post, you can feel the pain and the hurt that he was kind of, you know, still dealing uh, with regard to his mother. And I think he mentioned his brother as well, that they were just like two horrible individuals, and it was just like just giving us hell. So many comments on this post that he was just continuously fighting every single person that, you know, that spoke out to him or spoke out against the, you know, spoke out against what he was saying with regard to Gen X. And it was just really sad to see, and it just made me want to tell him, like, I'm so sorry that you went through what you went through. um but at this stage, I can't be mad at anybody but you at this point if you don't want to let go, heal, and move forward. Because whatever happened to you back in the 80s, back in the early 90s, it happened. You know, it made you the person that you are today. You're stronger for it. You're more resilient. I'm sure, you know, it's one of those things like what they did, you know, you'll never do to anybody else, or, you know, your children, or, you know, your children's, whatever the case might be. But you got to let go and you have to forgive, because it's a long road. And if you haven't started the journey yet, um, there's no time like the present. I'm not a trained professional. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist or anything like that. These are just my opinions, and these are my experiences that I speak on. You know, just growing up, being 40, having children of my own. I know that there are a lot of men that still, um, they still turn their nose up at the thought of going to therapy. I would just say to the young man that I'm speaking to from the comment, bro, it's time to heal. It's beyond time to heal. Because, like, when you are sitting there literally blaming an entire generation for your shitty upbringing, for your parental neglect, because you're still having these emotions, because you still haven't moved on yet, because you're still feeling it almost as if it was yesterday, for this post to be able to trigger you in such a way, you need to heal. You need some outside help that can help your inner child. That, my friend, is some shit I found on YouTube. But no, all jokes aside, you know, a lot of men don't really care for therapy. I don't care what you say. There are a lot that have, you know, accepted the challenge. There are a lot of men that do go to therapy, that do take their mental health seriously, but there are a lot that don't believe that they have any issues and that they don't need any fixing. And listening to that young man, when I told him that he needed to heal, and I hope that he does, he said that he was already healed. Clearly, that wasn't the case. Um, you know, I don't know. Even if it's like a money thing, you know, y'all go to YouTube for everything the hell else. Google some shit. You know, Google. I mean, listen, I was the same way. There was a time where, you know, I was down and out in between jobs. I was having a hard time. A lot of things from my past came up, but I wasn't able to seek professional help due to, you know, finances at the time. But I went and I took the initiative, and I went online, and I looked up free resources and reached out to God at what, you know, at one point it became very spiritual. I mean, it's so many different avenues that a person could take to heal, but you gotta take the initiative first. I mean, shit, go in a room, throw on some Tupac, Rage Against the Machine, yell it out, scream it out, get it out of you somehow, some way, until you can literally find somebody to talk to. But take accountability, take initiative, and try your best to forgive everybody that has impacted you. But first, you definitely have to forgive yourself before you can forgive anybody else that impacted you negatively. Forgive your parents, give them grace, because 9 times out of 10, they did the best that they could do with what little they had emotionally, probably financially, probably due to their own upbringing. And it's sad, and we don't realize that as kids, we don't realize that as children. I know it was just maybe a year or two ago that I actually forgave, my own parent, because I had a revelation that that was the best that she could do. When I started hearing little things regarding her childhood and her upbringing, you know that was the best that she could do for me emotionally. And I had to accept that. These were our parents were what? Back then, teenagers, young adults by the age of 25, having full blown families, three, four, five children. They were children themselves. At least we have Google. They didn't have shit. At least we can Google how to talk to my son, how to be a better parent, how to be an active listener, how to talk about the birds and the bees. They didn't have any of that back then. None of that was in the Britannica Encyclopedia, okay? None of it. So we have to be able at some point to give our parents grace, because we don't know how hard they really had it, and we have to forgive, and we just got to let it go, because all it's going to do is eat us up inside. And I just had to thank God that He covered me, even though, it wasn't the best of times for me as a child. He made a way for me. I'm still here today, standing, signed, sealed, delivered. I'm y'all's. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm still standing. Can y'all tell I'm a music buff? But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, y'all. Like, we just gotta stop making excuses and get shit done. I mean, I watched this amazing movie. Another thing I feel like God guided me to on forgiveness. It was with Sam Worthington and Octavia Spencer. Now, when I tell y'all, I wasn't even looking for anything inspirational. I literally I had my remote control. I was flipping through streaming platforms, and I just was telling myself, I don't feel like watching no goddamn Ozark. Ozark's gonna make me angry. Like, I want to watch something that's gonna be a little bit more uplifting. I was in a down place. I was just frustrated. I was going through some relationship issues, and I just wanted something to kind of just, you know, get my mind off of things. I stumbled onto this movie. I didn't stumble onto it. You know how I found it. Shout out to God. But I found this movie called The Shack. And guys, I have to say, this was one of the best inspirational movies I had ever seen in my lifetime. Like I said, I didn't even know it was an inspirational movie. That wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't what I was searching for. It was on Netflix, I believe, at the time. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, it spoke to my heart. It had me in tears, crying. I sent a group chat out, a message to all my friends in the group chat. I told each and every one of them they had to watch it because that's how damn good it was. It was absolutely amazing. So please, please check it out. If anybody's out there struggling with how to forgiving anyone, no matter what has happened, I mean, the darkest thing you can think of, the worst, most horrifying thing you can think of happened in this movie where this man had to forgive. So please, please watch this movie. You will leave a comment. Let me know when you do. I'll actually put it up on my Instagram page at Dope After 40 so that you guys can let me know, your thoughts on it. Wonderful, absolutely amazing. I cannot sing its praises anymore. Check it out. You're gonna absolutely love it. Again, The Shack with Octavia Spencer, and what was his name again? Sam Worthington. Yes. Okay. So check that movie out. You're gonna love it. But I do want to say though, Another thing I noticed from the post was that there were a lot of people that were triggered by the comments of the stranger as well. You know, and I just didn't understand like what makes, see, there I go again about to slip. Slip. Yo, I want to curse so bad. I I literally believe that in my past lives I was either a truck driver or a sailor amongst one of the biggest nastiest cargo ships, because I am such a cursor. I am literally trying to cut back. I literally am, but sometimes it's so hard. It's so hard, y'all. But I'm trying. I'm literally trying. But anyway, I digress. But what makes you that upset to want to fire back so vehemently at like a stranger or at somebody you don't know? You know, like what is going on in your day where you are that angry? I mean, I saw the most vile posts, the most hateful responses to so many of these comments, and it just made me like sit back like, what be really going on? Like, are y'all mad at this post? Or are you mad at the long line at Dunkin' Donuts that you're sitting in right now? Are y'all really mad at this comment? Or are you mad at the person driving in front of you that made you late for work? Like what really has you upset? Like, why have you gone and taken shots at Matthew for posting whatever it is he posted? Why are you taking such hateful shots at Connor on this post? Like, what is it that what makes these internet bullies so hardcore that they just don't give two F's about what they say, or who they affect? Y'all are so vicious. And when you have hit that point, it's time to put the phone down and slowly move away from it. Nobody should ever take you or pull you out of character in such a way. I mean, there was this one comment, and I had to click on the woman's page, and everything on her page was child of God, every type of Bible verse you could think of. And when you click back over to her comment, it was the most vile, indignant, ignorant shit I had ever read in my life. I mean, I wanted to be like, Miss Ethel, keep it cute. I see you, and so do God, okay? You was getting, keep thinking Pastor Walker won't see you up on this, keep it cute, all right? So that it was, I mean, it was absolutely unbelievable. I just want people to be able to be free from their own mental turmoil and conflict by understanding that everything starts with you. You are the creator of your own universe. You are the creator of your own destiny. You have to stop allowing every single person, every single thing to affect your day to day. And when you feel yourself getting taken out of character, when you feel someone or something has triggered you in such a way, it is your responsibility to calm yourself down, to find whatever self soothing tool that works for you and use it. If it's breathing techniques, if that's your thing, listening to binaural beats, listening to music, breaking some shit, maybe you got a break room, I don't know. It is your responsibility to get yourself out of that place so that it doesn't ruin your energy, your day, and all those around you. Especially if you have children, don't think that they don't know and don't think that they don't see. My kids always know, even when I try to hide it, they always know when I'm dealing with something. They always know. I'm not saying that they care, but they know, they can feel it, they see it, especially my youngest. Mom, what's wrong? You know? So with all that said, guys, I just felt like I needed to come on here, drop a little bit of some good vibes, some healing. I just wanted to thank everybody who's following me now. Just say, I am so blessed. I'm so happy to be able to do what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm no trained professional. I'm no therapist. I'm just, a woman over the age of 40, starting to just, really, love the person that I am, just wanting to be happy, healthy, and I just want that for everybody else. We don't need to be living angry anymore. It's not doing us any good. It's making us old. It's making us ugly. It just really is. Like, who wants to be miserable? I don't want to be miserable for the rest of my life. Like, it's just not a good place. It's not a good feeling. And I don't want that for any of y'all. So, with that said, I am your host, Nisi Marie. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you all for checking me out. I'm going to continue to create great content. If you guys have any comments, any reviews, please, hook your girl up. Follow, like, subscribe on my YouTube. Leave me a comment. You can leave me a review on my Apple Podcast or my Shopify, Lord, on my Spotify. And until next time, enjoy. Peace.